Hi everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So it's the last day of June and I didn't get everything done in June that I wanted to do, but I'm moving on to July. This week I had a list of things to do and our internet was out for over 24 hours. And when this is your job, and when I was waiting for repairmen and basically I lost a whole day, more than a day. But I decided it is what it is. I always cut back a little bit on what I do in the summertime. So I don't have any other classes. I'm going to show you my card club. So in card club, this month, I'm going to bump it up a little bit. So there will be a couple more projects. It'll be a little bit more of, not a class, but I have a little bit more time to put into this than I do since I don't do classes. And then my daughter got engaged. So my laid back summer, do less of that, has really just been sucked up with all things wedding. So we've been to 6 venues, I think. We have a couple more to go to. And then it's dress shopping time for her, which, you know, then leads into dress shopping time for me. And I have a niece and a friend that are also getting married in the fall. So lots of weddings going on here. So what I'm going to show you today is the first project for my July card club. So it's going to be, like I said, a little bit different this time on a couple of levels. If you're in card club, you will get an email in the next day or two with the links to purchase and kind of explaining what we're going to do. So I am using Timeless Charm. So you may be thinking to yourself, I've never seen that before. And that would be true. It is one of our new offerings in the online exclusives. It will be available to purchase. I don't know if it's July 6th or 7th. I think it's the 6th. It could be the 7th. So it's post July 4th holidays. I know that. And it also in July, there's going to be bonus days, which I always like to think of it as Kohl's Cash, so I don't have to explain it to you because you all know what Kohl's Cash is. So for every $50 you spend in July, you'll get some bonus bucks that you can redeem in August on a purchase. So there's that in July, and then I'll have new thank you gift specials. A couple of those I will touch on as we move through this. But this is part of the online exclusives. So we never know with those how long they'll last. Some stuff either sells out right away or goes on back order right away. So if you're in card club, you need to pay special attention to your email because I'm going to order stuff the first day I can. And then I'll put another order in on the 10th, which is your normal cutoff day. I just can't promise that everything will be there because we're going to use 2 sets this time. This is club set. This is our 6 projects will be made with Timeless Charm. But then I know you've all seen little sneaks of that truck set and truck punch. That's going to be our bonus. And so that will all be in your email, or you can go to the club page and read about that. So here's the Timeless Charm stamp set. It is a bundle. If you are in my card club, it's a subscription service. You sign up via PayPal subscriptions. You don't have to have a PayPal account. They just host it for me. And every month you get, I'll show you what they're getting this month, but we do 6 projects together. There's 3 designs and they get the stuff to do 2 of each. They get the envelopes. And then if you don't have a die cut machine, you don't have to buy the stamp set, or if it's a bundle, the bundle. Last month we used a punch. Obviously if we use the truck, we'll be doing another punch. So you don't have to have a cut and emboss machine. Anything that is die cut or has to be run through an embossing folder is pre-done in your little kit. So this time I'm going to use these 2 on this card. So everybody in Card Club, you will have 4 of these in your pack. Well, 2 of each, so 4 total in your packet. And then things that are like this, where you have to, where it would cut out the stamped image, then you can just trim around it if you don't have the dies. So if you have a set that's already very similar, you don't have to purchase it. We do lots of substituting, and I always do an alternate project. The alternate project this time, of course, will be with the truck punch, so you'll be able to see that. So you can see there's really fun dies in it. I'm going to make a couple of other cards just to show you what you can do with it. Probably not with this paper, but I'll use it before July 6th so you can see it. So there's the stamp set. And then every month they get a half a packet of paper. So this month they're getting a half a pack of the Brights Designer Series paper. It's not a sale paper, so I thought I would be smart and pick a paper and maybe order it this month while it's on sale. And the one I picked, I didn't know it wasn't on sale till I was already sold on it. So it's a really fun kind of summer pack of paper, and you can see it will work with the truck punch as well. In fact, these kind of even look like tire tracks, huh? So I wanted something that would go for both. So the way the truck punch will work, if you everybody will see the videos if you're in Card Club for those 2 bonus projects. If you buy the bundle, then you'll get the supplies to make those 2 projects as well. And then everybody gets a full packet of embellishments. This time we are using the loose daisy embellishments, and everybody gets a packet of a spool of ribbon, the metallic woven ribbon in the Parakeet Party. So that is, and then like I said, the envelopes. There's always a little treat in there. Last month it was all stuff that I brought back from the Stampin' Up! Trip to Norway. So that was kind of fun. So let's get going on this card. My purpose of Card Club is that you get to stamp, you get to have some great cards, but every month I hope that I teach you something that you are like, oh, I never thought of that before, or that's a different way to do that. If you are a member of my team, then all of the videos are posted or the links to them are posted in our team Facebook page. So that's another perk of being on my team. And since today's still June, you can still get the special. So let's get going on the card. This one will have a black background. You'll have a piece of white, then you'll have a quarter sheet of white, and then you can pick whichever patterns of your paper you want to use. So let's stamp first. This is going to be a background piece. And the only ink color, obviously, if you're in club, and this is the Bold Brights packet of paper, you'll want to have inks or blends or something in Bold Brights. This is Coastal Cabana. And you saw that that stamp set has some fun backgrounds in it. And I just re-inked it, so it's going to be a little splotchy. But I'd rather it be splotchy than how I had it the first time, which is, it was very like Coastal Cabana. Not good. I don't like to re-ink my things right before I use them. And then I'm going to grab my sentiment for this card. I chose Happy Birthday, My Dear. So I'm just going to do it in black down here in the corner. So we have our little background to put all of our flowers on. I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm using 2 of the images from the stamp set, and I chose the ones that kind of match the dies that are on this card, but you could easy mix and match, and you could also add more because there's really more room on this. I just put them both on the block at the same time since they're going to be die cut. Like I said, if you don't have the die cut, you just cut it out. It's not a hard cut. But I do like the die cuts when they go in between and they get all those little crevices and little holes in the middle of the stamps that we otherwise wouldn't get. And so I am going to run these through the die cut machine. If you're in club, you will have this one and you will have this one already done for you. And then if you bought the bundle, you can cut these out with that. Yep. Okay, so one of my free gifts with purchase, and it will also be available to you in club at anything they buy in club, I pay shipping, handling, and tax as part of that. But one of the things I'm going to feature next month is the Take Your Pick Crafters Tips. So these are new. This is not one. There is this that I attempted to put on this card. We'll use it in club. It's just kind of a fun piece. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. But you can see it does like a perforated edge. So I tried it on here. There was already too much going on this card, and I didn't want to force it just because I wanted to show it to you. So you get that tip, and then there is an X-Acto knife tip, and then this one is super fun. I had it on and I took it off. You can see I have 2 of these, and now I'm thinking I might need to get another one because I don't like switching them off and on. I'm always so busy that to save just a little bit of time, I would just rather have more Take Your Picks, but it's designed that you can just put these in and out, and you can see that just goes in there. And then this is one of the new ones, and it is specifically to knock this stuff out. I like that it has the little bend to it, and this is one that comes out pretty easily on its own. I just kind of wanted to show you because it has that fun angle. I didn't think it would make that much of a difference. It makes a huge difference. So that's kind of cool. So you can order it. It's in the catalog now. Or it will be one of my gifts with purchase as a thank you gift in July, the higher level. I'm going to add a take your pick option as well in case you don't have the tool. Or if you are in Card Club, you can add it on. I have a little bonus pack this month. And then I wanted to show you this because this is the spatula tip. I haven't cleaned it off yet. So when you, like I said, I re-inked my Coastal Cabana pad. This is one of the standard tips that just comes in the original Take Your Pick tool. But when you get your refill on here, you can take this because you know it kind of puddles in one spot. And this will gently, without tearing the pad, if you just kind of hold it flat. And then you can just take a wet wipe and wipe it off. But that's one of the things you can use for this. You can see it still also has a tiny bit of embossing paste because you can use it for embossing paste. Now I need to make sure that's really dirty, that it doesn't get on anything. So let's do this. The neighbor's dog is barking, of course. This also has this tip, which you see me use a lot. When you have the more intricate dies, this will get all of the things out of, you know, one of those big background dies or something. So I'm going to color this in with blends. And here's how I chose what colors. These are the pieces of paper that I'm going to use on this particular card. So this is actually lemon lime twist, yeah. So I pulled those out. Poppy Parade, got those out. If you don't have these in the blends, you can easily use the ink colors and sponge daubers. You can use watercolor pencils. You can use your ink pads and a water painter. You just have to be careful because this is not watercolor paper. And then Pumpkin Pie. And then those were the colors that I'm going to color with. And then when I got the card done, I realized that this kind of has the spruce in it. So I added this after my card was done. So we're going to add it before my card is done this time, because now I want to do it. So I'm going to take my light lemon lime twist. You could also use Parakeet Party. They're very similar in color. And as you heard, the ribbon that we're using this time is Parakeet. I just wanted a ribbon that could stand in for the greenery, since this was a flower set. So I'm using the brush tip because this is pretty delicate. Just brushing right over that. And then I'm gonna take the same brush tip, color these leaves in. You can always tape these down, but this one is so delicate that it is, I'm afraid that when I pulled the seal back up, it would tear it. When you get them in Card Club, if they don't pop out of the paper, I'm going to leave them in because it will be actually easier to color them if they're still stuck in the paper. It gives them a little bit more stability. And come over here. Just add a little bit of the light. So this is light lemon lime twist. And then let's get our dark lemon lime twist. And I don't want it everywhere. I'm just gonna leave that light. I'm gonna add just a little strip of it here. This die has some real fun cutting in it. So the leaves have a cut part. And then on those, the first time I did it there, but since I'm adding the other color, I don't need to. So that was just all real light with the brush tip. Now I'm gonna take the bullet tip and these places where I added the dark, again, be careful because the leaves will rip off this dainty little stem easily, I think. And then just blend this in over here. And then just a tiny bit. This is color on color. And then let's grab, I don't know if I think I have the dark spruce, yeah. So I am just going to add dark spruce on this. Just a tiny bit because it will overwhelm. And then just at the bottom of these leaves. And then I'm going to take my bullet tip again for this. And just blend that in because they're blends, right? You don't want a line of color, but as soon as you color over it, then it smudges that all in. So these two are done. Let's do our flowers. I'm gonna do them a little bit different on this card than I did on my first. So this is dark pumpkin pie. I don't have the light pumpkin pie. It has a rust tinge to it, I felt like on this card. And the paper is a little bit more this color. See? The other one, because it's light, I just didn't like it as much. Then I'm just going to do it a little bit different. And I'll show you the pictures. And if you're in club, then you'll get the close-ups in July when you get your packet. Everything for my club has to be done by the 10th of a month. And then it's always in the mail to you by the 26th. That gives us plenty of time to order it and get it all cut. So this is light daffodil. Color this in. When you use your brush tip, kind of hold it to the side and pull on it and be gentle because you don't want to smash it. And you barely have to touch and it does wonderful. And then I'm going to do this over here. And then I'm going to take my light poppy. And then my dark poppy. Now in this one, there's like a lip of the inside of the flower, so I'm going to keep the dark down here. Just going to give that some highlight, and then we'll go back and blend that. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm just going to put on the tips of a few of these. I overdid it, I think, with the red on the first one. And then here in the center. And then I'm going to go back with my light poppy. And here, I don't like when these have an obvious line. So if you just take this, and I'm going to go right up to that line. So even though it's light on top of light, because that's one coat, it now has a feel of more colors. Now let's take the bullet tip of our dark daffodil and blend these in. So I'm trying to make these petals all look a tiny bit different. It's not, this is a whimsical set, so don't feel like you have to do anything that makes it look realistic. And then let's get our light again. Just kind of fill in those places. One of our local florists always says they have the like 6-foot hanging baskets. They have the most beautiful hanging baskets. Maybe I'll put them on my page just so you can see how beautiful they are. But around the 4th of July every year, they go half off. So I got a bunch of them yesterday because I also bought for my sister and myself. So some of the flowers in it kind of look like this. That was where I got my inspiration for. So here's this. I'm going to take, I want this to be a fun, sparkly, bright, and cheery birthday summer card. I'm going to take my Stella. And again, if you leave parts of it, Stella here, don't Stella there. I think this Stella pops a little bit more. Get the center here, and then we'll just put it in some places. If you make it all shiny, which is great, there's never a thing as too much Stella for certain. But by kind of controlling where you put it, I put it on the places where I put the red. Then I think it highlights where it is a little bit more. If you're doing snow or something, by all means do it everywhere. There. And then I'm just going to take it on this one and kind of brush it over. Again, not everywhere's going to have it. It's going to look a little bit like the dew or something got it in the morning. And then get 1 or 2 of the leaves, but don't do all 3 now. So we'll let that Stella dry real quick. So here I have, this is a 1/4 sheet of white cardstock. And then here are the patterns that I chose. So I put the pieces in that I wanted. You need to make sure that the direction's going the way that you want it before you cut it. And then I cut them all to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. So these will lay on here. So they're going to go on here. So you need to make sure that you're cutting this direction, especially once the first time it was obvious because they were this size, but you can see where the piece is missing. So I did them 1.5 inches. So if you have 4, we mass cut so many pieces of paper that I know that our paper trimmer is a little workhorse. If you don't have it, you need to get one, especially if you're in card club or if you do my try it classes. So here's enough again that you can do another couple of cards, or you'll have all these pieces left. The one thing about the color paper packets like this is there's just 2 of each design. So when you get a half a packet in card club, you'll only have 1 of each design. So I'm going to just work from, normally I work from a whole packet as I'm designing club, but this time I'm working from the half. So I don't use something twice because I have it and then you don't. So now we're going to take this. The easiest way I think to do it is to just grab this and we're going to put in a rectangle and then an X, and that will hold all the paper for us. So I started, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm flipping my paper over. I started with the orange and then it's flipped on my card, but it doesn't matter. So for this piece, your first piece, just start right on the edge. And if you've cut yours a little bit smaller, either way, it's okay because we're going to trim it. And then they have to overlap a little bit because obviously 4 times 1.5 is 6. And this is only 5.5. This was the only one that, this one I kind of wanted the lines to go this way when I cut it because if they go the other way, you would see less of them. But the hearts, be careful that you cut them the right direction. This would be a great, if you're doing a card for Disney and you want Minnie Mouse, that looks like Minnie's just right there with us. And then this over here, you can see on this one, I'm gonna lose. I mean, we've gone over the paper. So we have this. I'm gonna take it and stick it back in the paper trimmer again. And you wanna keep it as large as possible. My other one, I didn't have to trim it all because I wasn't filming, so I did a better job of cutting. So you still want it to be 5.5 by 4.25 because we want all of this to be beautiful when you first trim it. And now you're gonna take it, so this edge for me is really good. This one back here, I just need to trim that off. Make sure you keep this 5.5. I'm gonna need that again one more time, but I'm gonna not show you what we're doing with it just yet. So now we have our background. This will go on top of here. You can trim this down a little bit if you want to see more of this. If you have the dot embossing folder, I would run it through that. I think it would be super cute. I didn't do it because there's no way I can send you embossed pieces of paper and then have you stamp words on them like that with them not turning out, messing up your words. So you're going to need fine tip glue. Remember, as part of Card Club, you can always add that adhesive package. It doesn't include fine tip glue. This is the month where we are also doing, I told you we're doing some extra because I have a little bit more time to prepare your packets. There's an adhesive package special this month as well that will include this glue, the foam adhesive strips, the foam adhesive sheets, and there's another adhesive in there. Some of the more unusual adhesives that we don't use all the time. So if you're in Card Club and you want to add that, again, it'll just be at catalog cost. So put some fine tip glue. The green glue comes in the normal adhesive package. So for this one, it doesn't matter so much. I just want it to be kind of here. And then for the rest of them, I'm going to try to line up. So I'm going to use my grid paper. We don't have this size grid paper anymore because it went with the Stamparatus, but we have the large and that will work. So see this line right? Let's put the line right there. So I can see it here and I can see it over here. And I want the tips of them to about be there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it makes it have a little bit of consistency across the card. You want these to stay on the card. So there is this line. There's that line. And if you do it like this and anything's too close together, which my other one was fine, but I'll show you, I'll do this one the other way just to show you what happens if it's not. And then this one here. So now you can see this is gonna have more. That needs to go up a fraction. Get it while it's wet. That's why I wanted that line. And then I saw my line and I'm like, that is not on that line. I'm going to just put this in my paper trimmer in a second and trim that off. For now, we will put that there. I need the glue again. This is the other reason I think you'll want the fine tip glue. The green glue will work, but your embellishments this month are loose. They don't have adhesive on them. So let's take this. It was kind of tricky to get, I'm going to go opposite the direction I did before just to show you it doesn't matter. I tried a bow. I tried putting it on this panel with the happy birthday, my dear. I didn't like any of that. So we're going to do our ribbon like this. So put some adhesive here in the middle. Then take your ribbon and you are going to start by just putting some here. And then you're just going to go around so you have 3 bits on each side. So every time you come around to this adhesive, just kind of push your finger in it. So there's 2. If you can do 2 if you want, I think 3 just looks just a little bit more like it has ribbon. The other one got twisted on the same spot. I don't know why that's a twisty. Hold that down. So now we have that. So it adds that fun feel of greenery. And then a little bit more sparkle. So we have it here. And I want my panel to be popped up. Plus I think it helps pop it up when you try to layer something on ribbon. It's never exactly flat. But see, I have this here. I'm going to put 1 dimensional right there. That will help. It's got adhesive around it and now it has that, so it's not going anywhere. These should be done. So see, this is just a little bit off. I like to give, I do it the same thing in my live classes when I have stamp camp and stuff. I like to give you a little bit more because it's easier to trim down sometimes and work with a little bit of a larger area than it is to make something fit perfectly. And this doesn't have to be a size. So I'm gonna put this in here and that goes right up to the edge. I'm gonna try to get this one right up to the edge. See, there's the cutting line right there. And you can see this is the cutting line. So now it's more compact and it's more even. So I'm gonna take this, and I know I have a dimensional in the middle. So these are gonna go around the 4 corners. I'm gonna try to get stuff done next week, but 4th of July week at our house is also birthday week for my daughter. And when you have an only child, you know, it kind of turns into a thing when they're little because you only have the 1 birthday you gotta do. So we have kind of cut back from birthday month, but you add the holiday and then you add, so we have the holiday, we have birthdays, and now we have wedding. It's also my husband and I's anniversary in the same time frame. It has gotten skipped for a million years. Isn't that fun? I think it makes a fun summer birthday happiness card. Even this could also be fabulous in the middle of winter when we've got those doldrums going like in February. It would be perfect. So I'm going to add my little embellishments. These are so super cute. And we never used them when they were in the spring mini catalog because the suite went on back order. So it never got to be part of club. So I pulled them back out for this because they will add some fun highlights to this. So I'm going to add 5 drops of glue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We use lots of embellishments in Card Club because you're getting a new package every month. So you need to use them and not let them just accumulate. I believe in 5, 7, 9. So here's one of the other tips that is on, you can get just this accessory tip and you see me use it all the time. It picks up our embellishments. Now these are in 2 sizes. There may be 3. I know there's 2. So there's big and there's small. So on these 2 that I did outside the flower, I'm going to use big. Where's another big one? Well, we'll do little ones until we find a big one. There's a big one right there. I'll put the little ones in here. Little. Now you can see why I added that tiny bit of spruce after it was all said and done. And I did it over the top of the Stella. So we have that. So I was gonna, though I did this as a quarter panel and it was just gonna be on a white card. But I had a piece of scrap. If you saw my typewriter card, this was the edge of where I had done it, and I moved that over, and I just loved the way it kind of popped off that black, but this was already done. So there was no way to make this smaller. So I thought, well, I'll just trim this a little bit more. I had trimmed the edges. That's why now you're gonna take off a 1/4 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch. You can kind of decide. And so then I went and got black cardstock instead, which means you'll have to use a white pen or something to sign the inside, or you can put a white panel in there as well. So I have this. I'm just showing you my thought process. But that's not very much black, right? So if your card looks like this, I need to take a little bit more off of here. This is why we still have this out. And you can take it from the top or the bottom, because sometimes you've mounted something and you're like, oh, that wasn't quite straight. This is the time that you can take it back. So it really does end up being about 4 inches. Where's my 4? There we go. And if you are doing it, sometimes people are like, I can't put it in my paper trimmer. I've already done it. Just don't press super hard. You can see I even have wet glue there. But because our paper trimmer cuts through several pieces of paper at a time, it will get all of this. You just have to kind of pull this off. My other one got perfect, but you know I'm on camera, so there we go. So I'm still not done with it, so I'm not gonna move this. So I put this on here. And I liked that. That's pretty. And you can leave it just like this. But sometimes we like to do something a little fancy. So this is going to fit in a card, right? It's standard card size. So it's going to go, I mean, in your envelope. So you don't have to worry about, if you're starting with this base, then you can kind of play with what you're doing. So I stuck this in here. And I'm going to make it be 5 inches because it's 5.5. So we're going to go to 5 and take a half. I think I took another 1/4. So move it to 4 3/4. So now we have a smaller card, but it's still standard card size because the front of our card is that. So it makes it kind of a little bit of a fun fold that you didn't have to do any work for. I like those because I don't really like to measure. So I'm going to stick my adhesive on here. You want to put a generous amount because this has to hold on there. So now when you put this on here, make sure it's straight. Sometimes it's a little bit hard when I'm trying to let you guys see the project and not my head. It'd be easier to touch this if I didn't have the wet glue on it, so you can do it before or after. So now we have this super fun little fun fold. So you still get a little bit of the black highlight. It's not too much, but it also makes your card. This is why I like this in here, because it's super cute. The other one looks just the same. Well, I flipped the colors. It doesn't make any difference. And this is a little bit bigger. I do like it a little bit smaller, so you can start with those kind of in there. But those hints of the Stella, the little flowers, the little sparkle from the ribbon, and then all those fun paper designs, super cute. So if you are interested in joining my card club, you have till the 10th of the month, but because of, I don't anticipate that this bundle will go on back order soon, although the dies could. Last time when we had the online exclusives, I can't remember, a couple of the things went on back order right away. One was the paper, but we're not using paper this time. And there are other things. There's a stained glass set. There's a Hanukkah set. So you do want to look at those online exclusives. But there is a very high likelihood that the truck punch will go on back order, because lots of times our specialty punches, people just suck them up. So if you want to get that, you need to have it paid for by July 6th, 5th, the day before I need to order them, because I'm going to get up that morning and super early, and I'm going to order all of the things that are online exclusives that we are using. But you can go down below this video. If you're on my email, the email that comes with this will be about Card Club. There's a card club page on my website that always has the latest card club. So if you get there when this video posts, it may still have last month's, because I'll post the video and then I'll go work on that. So everybody have a great day. Have a great 4th of July. If I don't get another video up before then, which I might do one on Monday. We have wedding venues in the middle of the afternoon that day. So chances are ish if I get it up. And it also depends who in my family is hosting 4th of July, which could be me. So then my 3rd is a wash. Everybody have a great one. Bye.